You can't really harass a Night Stalker as Pudge either, because ideally you turn on Rot, right, to start attacking him, and if you do that, he hits way harder than you, and he has much higher base armor, so you just take bad trades every time. I definitely favor him in the 1v1. Plus, there is no roaming potential at all, really, on the side of MYM. I'm assuming it's going to be a safe lane supporting Shadow Shaman. They might duel off lane, maybe put Ace and Mini together, and then just have a 2-1-2, because their heroes are pretty level reliant. I don't really see them doing defensive tri-lane, because they want crit to hit 6 kind of, you know, ASAP.
So it's all on Exist, like all the space creation is on him, like that's his goal.
Until Unicorn and Ace get blinks, yeah, it's pretty much on him.
I mean, but there is juicy target. Veno and AA, one hook, one easy kill, and in combination of that aphotic shield, like that Pudge could get pretty big pretty fast. So I'm hoping that Exist do really well, primarily because he's playing Pudge, and I'm also I have him on my fantasy team. So let's see how things go.
It's Era Night Stalker, so it's gonna be a farming Night Stalker.
Okay, Hani mid with Weaver. I love mid Weaver for a couple of reasons. First of all, you're gonna beat Pudge like it's easy. Like it's so easy to beat a Pudge mid, especially when you are not really gonna die to any Rot hook combo. Critically, you can also check runes and get to those runes so much easier with Sakuchi. So, well, no, never mind. They swapped back.
Okay, I was all excited. I was like, man, Era's going to get so many points because he's farming a Night Stalker. It's going to be sick, but now Hani is playing it, so James is probably going to get more points. Sorry, I'm just like fantasy league mindset right now. I'm just like, damn it, Era, play the hero that's going to get kills. That's okay, though.
Fly might get a lot of kill.
It looks like they're going to fence, no? Or they're not, safe lane.
Well,
30 seconds to battle.
I don't think it's necessarily horrible for them to dodge, because the later the game goes, Era will eventually be able to transition and split push a bit, but he's going to have to be crazy careful, right? Because right now there's 4 potential heroes in MYM, and that gets really scary. He's going to have some space creation of his own by that Night Stalker, and I think they're really willing to take the fights. That's the only reason I imagine you pick Night Stalker in this situation, because you don't want to back down from the mid-game aggression.
Do you think being Dar, you have a disadvantage in the tri-lane as well, because of the pulling and that kind of stuff?
I think if you go aggressive as Dire, it's way harder.
Yeah.
I definitely think that Radiant have an aggressive tri-lane advantage in that sense, because you can pull the large camp near the wave.
And the trees are better as well, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit easier for sure if you're on Radiant side, but there's no way they're going aggressive with that lane. It's an awful aggressive lane. They have 2 melee heroes and a Shadow Shaman who doesn't have great range, so.
Well, in terms of examining lane, it is going to be a 2-1-2 setup like Andy predicted for MYM. They need the levels, and they're going to be getting it for a Bad and protecting the Ace Bat Rider up top. And of course, Exist on Pudge in the mid lane. He is going to have a tough time being dual lane against. He's just here for the experience. Maybe he's going to sit here for like a couple minutes and then decide to roam. But back to your point, Andy, how hard is it to roam against this lineup?
Well, if you're MYM, roaming against Fnatic, Pudge basically can only go bottom. And if you can't like leave mid because there's 2 heroes and they're always going to know exactly where you're going, it makes Pudge's life even harder. So any potential gank that he actually wanted to try to do is going to be thwarted just because they're going to know for sure where he is at all times. So not really, I think, the ideal start for MYM, just seeing how the lanes are rolling out. And Hani's sitting at 4-4 right now. The Pudge has yet to get, okay, he just got his first creep kill right there. And even with the Abaddon here with shields, I don't really think it matters.
Now, I'm not sure whether you agree with this point, but I personally think just seeing how Dendy mostly played Pudge, I feel like the way he plays that he doesn't really care too much about the CS. I think as mid-hero goes, Pudge is probably one of the few ones that don't really care about as much of your early game CS. He just wants to get his level 5 and 6 as soon as possible, and then hopefully he's going to make his gold mostly through hero killing.
I would actually, I partly agree and I partly disagree.
Okay.
The main thing that I have a problem with is if you don't get a bottle and urn and your boots, then your roaming becomes less efficient because you have to go to base more.
Sure.
Like if you don't have an urn, you have to sacrifice your HP for every gank no matter what, because you have to use Rot to get kills. So if you're roaming and you don't have both those items together, then there's a really good chance that you're just going to have a lot of downtime. And the more downtime you have as Pudge, the worse it is, because he's a snowball hero. And you don't want to spend a lot of time in base. So I do agree that kills are where the majority of his income does kind of establish itself, but at the same time, you need a base to build on, you know?
Yep, Venomancer looks like secured a haste rune for Hani, who has it in his bottle. Yeah, the other thing that Pudge really buys a lot of is Smoke of Deceit, which, 100 gold per pop. You really want to make sure that you get those early last hits, which Exist unfortunately is not getting
Oh, Trixie.
Yeah.
Could be in some trouble here bottom lane. Crush is going to land after the Shackle. Trixie going to go ahead and pop the Spike Carapace. He's trying to get a double stun right here. He will be able to do it, but I think this is most likely going to be First Blood. Yep, that auto attack. Brit manages to get it. So Trixie going down here. First Blood in favor of MYM. And that's a bit surprising, to be honest. Like, this is a lane where I didn't really see him dying that early.
I mean, I guess it was a good rotation here from Crit on the Shadow Shaman, just walking around. He did not have any Observer Wards protecting himself, so there's that. Also, if we want to take a look in the Radiant jungle, we see Ace rotating back in due to a little bit of nice stacking done by our Abaddon player. Ace is going to farm this wave and get himself up to a quick triangle boots, I imagine? Or is it just straight up
I think he just might have
lane?
the boots for jungle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot nicer to have boots, like plain ones, just so you can actually...
No, he went bottle.
Yeah, bottle's good too.
Yeah.
You kind of do want to keep the bottle just because you know you're going to be in the woods anyway, and you can bottom rune for your team. You have a tri-lane there, essentially, so it's always going to be pretty safe. And as long as Hani doesn't get it, it's still going to be all good, so...
Do you rotate back up the top after you farmed up a bit in the jungle with your newfound levels? And
Well, you go top when you see the pressure on the tower, right? Like the wave starts pushing in, you go up there, you pop Firefly. Trixie's definitely in trouble again. Yeah, he's going to get shackled. Wrong place at the wrong time. Hani's got a haster and he wants to try to turn this around. Ace does not have Firefly for another 5 seconds. They could potentially get a turnaround kill. The shield was used on Ace, the coil to follow it up. Flame break and a salve. Stops a little bit of the damage. Well, doesn't stop it, but heals a bit. And yeah, it's going to be a death for Ace.
it's a good turnaround.
What a rune, man. If that wasn't a haste, there's no way Trixie was getting help there.
I mean, but that was a mistake in MY's own part, in my opinion, because they knew the haste rune was there. It was bottled for 2 minutes on the mid lane, and as soon as you saw a hasted Night Stalker 4 minutes into game during nighttime, I think the correct thing was to back off, even though they had 3 or 4 heroes there. Your Pudge wasn't going to contribute. The Bat Rider, like you said, had such low HP and mana, and he took an impale at the beginning of the fight. So I think it was a little bit of over-aggression by MYM, and they gave it all back to a team that benefits with a little bit of early game snowballing a lot more in the hands of a Night Stalker.
With the Pudge here, do you want to get him a TP scroll as quick as possible so he can rotate to lanes like without them seeing? Because he's playing really passive now, so he could disappear at any stage. You know
Well,
what I mean?
the thing with Pudge is it's kind of counterproductive to leave your lane before at least 6. Ideally, you want to be 7, because then you have the max range on your hook. It does the most amount of damage, and you can try to make things happen by like smoke ganking lanes and such and sitting in fog, which is the big deal with another 4-minute night, is that normally by now Pudge is like 5 or 6, which means that he has an extra rank into his hook, so he can actually hit you when you can't even see him. But Exist isn't going to have that kind of freedom because he's been dueling against, so the time where he hits his stride is going to be a little bit later. So I just feel like his game in general is just going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, I think the TP is mostly, if he does get one, it's mostly used as a counter ganking if they're tower diving somewhat. But again, like, look at the target you're trying to gank. Night Stalker, who, if you hook him, he'll probably outrun you. Weaver is unkillable at this point. And Nyx Assassin's probably the easier kill out of the 3 cores, but he's going to be getting his level 6 very soon as well. So these are some very tough ganks for Pudge to make. And speaking of ganks, we're going to see Hani diving behind a tier 1 tower. Mini, though, not an easy person to kill on that Abaddon. Exist is looking for the hook, but even if they hook Hani, what are they going to do against it? In fact, well, they're going to back up against a double damage Night Stalker. They just don't want to mess around with that.
I don't think there's any character scarier in the game at 6 minutes than a double damage Night Stalker.
Yeah, with phase as well.
Yeah, in the black and night, like hunting down everyone. Like.
Oh, he's going to get scouted out as well, I think, by Trixie. There's still a ward here on the low ground, so he should at the very least be able to see Trixie sitting there. But Ace, he is so low on health. This is the worst case scenario. The Impale, but Hani actually voids before the Impale
Kill
damage is dealt, and yeah. It's a very, very easy kill. There was some pressure being done top here, Fnatic. They got a couple of Venomancer wards down. No Tails kind of in... He's actually leveling ward, which I don't disagree with. Their push is a little bit weak, at least right now. And wow, Hani actually just gets a double kill in mid in the meantime. Picks off Exist, and Hani, he's amped right now. I think that actually kills him. Yeah, because of the amp. There's no way, man.
Yeah.
That Amplify, minus 10 armor.
Well, I mean, Worth, as you would say, got a double kill
How
in
is
the
that
mid
a
lane.
double kill? That was so long between the 2 kills.
I think kill counts have 18 seconds in between. So
I don't know, man. That was ridiculous.
That was close to the end edge of the 18 seconds, but whatever, it's nice.
Yeah, not bad. But Unicorn at least gets Hani killed, right? Like, it wasn't just Hani snowballing out of control. He gets a kill, and then he ends up going down. But he's still 3-1 right now. He's all of Fnatic's kills.
So normally, if you look at most starter we see now play, generally they like to go Vanguard first, but it seems like Unicorn is skipping the Ring of Health altogether. He gone for the treads, and I think he might go straight for Blink Dagger, which, I mean, seeing how the game's going right now, they might need a Blink, because if you look at Hani, he is already up on that tier 1 tower, using every point of that Nightfall, and he sees Hani, or sees Mini. Well, Mini's going to shield himself and try to get out of there. Forces yet another TP from
cancel.
Pudge. Yep.
If he saw that cancel, I think honestly Fnatic would have just dove there, because if the Pudge doesn't TP, then there's nothing really stopping the Night Stalker from just going completely ham under the tower. There's no Dismember, there's no hook to worry about, but Daytime does roll around too, and that's a bit of a bummer for him. And he is actually going a late Midas.
Cool. Yeah, Hani's been liking his Midas lately. Or maybe it's an Armlet.
Armlet, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it could be an Armlet too.
I think
if
Armlet
he's
would be
maxing,
better here, right?
yeah, if he's maxing Hunter in the night, Armlet is probably the choice.
Okay, and he's going to find himself yet another double damage. He's going to wait for the second Nightfall for that. Speaking of Midases, it's going to be Era that has a Midas, and 900 gold to boot. So, I mean, Era have a lot of dive ability with that AA, but nobody to dive against, because it's, you know, the Bat Rider that rotated off. But he's doing really well on the top lane, threatening to
There's
destroy
a
that tier
party
1
on the
tower.
top lane. Shit's gonna go down.
Alright, okay. Pudge is here, smoked up. Level 6. No Tail's the easiest hook target of his life. There you go. That's going to be the first hook of the game. They blow him up very easily. Teleportation is going to come in from Unicorn. A crush is going to hit on Trixie. Amp damage is up. There's a Shackle. They're going to get yet another kill very easily under the tower. And Pudge being involved in these early game kills, that's all he wants to do.
Damn it, No Tail. You have negative points now. I need you to step it up a little bit. No, but I mean, that's what I was talking about, just the smoke behind a tower. You can't really anticipate stuff like that. And he did actually reveal him before the hook came out, but it didn't matter because he was already pretty much right there, and the hook is very easy to land on a poor little Venomancer. He even has boots, and his movement speed's only 335. That's like not really that fast at all.
Who exists? Oh man, if that was just a little bit further here, they would have got the kill. But I think critically, what that engagement got for MYM is level 7 on the Pudge, which is where he wants to be. And more critically, if you look at Unicorn, it's up to 1900 gold off those kills and assists. So once he gets the Blink Dagger, that's really where this fireworks is really going to start for MYM. I think MYM, despite their poor early game start, giving you double kill, triple kill to Hani, like I think they're quite okay. They're gonna answer back quite quickly now.
Oh, Ace. I don't think Trixie can actually.
He has a sentry ward, right? He's fine. Oh, well, that's Spike.
No, he didn't see him. Now he does because Trixie's Spike actually wore off.
All right, Impale. That's
He's got the stun, but I don't think anyone else is close enough yet. They just back off. So no cigar for Fnatic, but there's still.
Applying pressure.
They're applying pressure. They're creating a little bit of space for Era. He's going to try to get this last hit on the tier 1 and top lane. Mini's still kind of sticking around too. He just hit level 6. He has to wait for one more hit. Oh, Mini actually just gave it to him. That's a little bit weird.
And he might give himself to Era as well. Era, Gemini attack.
Go. No, he didn't do it. I really thought he would dive after he saw the ulti.
He had the deny as well, though.
And he still had time lapse, so even if he saw a TP, you could have forced a TP and at the very least use time lapse. Damn it, Era. Come on. Come on.
Get me these points.
You're my shining man.
Drasco right now sitting at 8 points in Fantasy League, trailing by, I don't know, like 50 something.
Yeah, it's real bad. I thought it was like 25. It's like 50.
Yeah. Well, hopefully for Fnatic, their 3 game, they earn a lot of points.
If Weaver's a good character for tower diving though, so maybe there's hope.
I just need to like stealth edit all the values of stuff in the league so I can actually win this game.
Alright, looks like they're going to try to get a dive attempt here on Unicorn, but Unicorn just shops for the Blink Dagger, so even if he dies here, it's not exactly the biggest loss. I'm looking for MYM to start turning up that gear. Because they're giving a lot of levels to crit on the Shadow Shaman in the mid lane, and support Shadow Shaman being involved in 3 kills. In fact, he's got the 3 kills.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
There's double TP coming in. Trixie actually gets the Spike Carapace off as well. Exists. Going for this. Remember, no way to cancel this. Looks like Trixie is actually going to be dying again. He puts the creep.
Come on.
Yeah, that was questionable.
That's fine. That's fine.
They still get a kill. Trade 1 for 1. Obviously, Trixie's life is not really worth as much as Unicorn, but like you said, he just got his blink. So.
Yeah, so it's fine. And now Pudge healing himself up with the bottle. He has the smoke in the seat, so if he wants to start roaming a little bit aggressively, he can. Pops smoke in the jungle, not in front of any wards, so he is safe. With No Tail safer behind that tier 1 tower, and I think he should be fine.
He's only learned 1 point in the Gale. I usually get 2 for the damage. Oh.
Blink Dagger online here on the Ace, and he's gonna find No Tail. That's gonna be yet another kill. Ice Blast is gonna fly in, but not really gonna do too much. Mini having his ultimate, that's gonna debuff
He's
it.
going down here.
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
No, he's got the shield for himself. Looks like Shadow Shaman has one down. The hook flies and whiffs, and now Hani's going to work on the Night Stalker. He's going to go right on Mini. Mini's dead. The Blink Crush gets 3 hero, but not enough follow-up. Ace now being focused, trying to get himself out there. No way. No Cigar exists, so still has the hook. He's going to maybe look for Fly. Fly. Not moving at all, and he's dead, I think.
Oh, man. I think Eric can actually maybe go for this kill. This is getting quite low. Cold Feet's not going to proc, though. He barely gets out of range. He wants to go for the deny. Nobody doesn't get it. Eric picks up the double. That's my boy.
I've never seen Draskell happy in my life.
Unicorn whiffs the sun. He's going to sprint out there, but he does have more mana for yet another Blink Crush when the Blink Dagger cools down in a couple of seconds. Trixie moving slow. I think Trixie's gonna get crushed. Does he have Spike Care Burst? He does have the mana for it. He spikes it. What a play here! And Unicorn being silenced under tower. Here comes Crit. He does have the Shackle. Where's it? Yeah, there's a Shackle. Where's the follow-up? The Punch is coming right in. There's some Dismember. Now the AI Splash flies in. It's gonna hit on everybody, but I don't think anybody's gonna die. Unicorn dropping low. Here comes Era on the back line here. The shield's gonna keep him alive for a little bit. Era. That's gonna hit on No Tail. No Tail's gonna get zapped away. Era's gonna get voodooed. No Shackle. The Crush is gonna come in. Unicorn's gonna get the kill. And now Draskell's crying because Era is dying.
Oh, they actually had 2 sentries down and an observer in the same spot just to make sure they could see Era for that engagement. Man, that was so close. Really nice turnaround, though, from MYM, I have to say. For a second there, it was looking pretty bleak. Then I saw the double sentries, and I'm like, okay, this is probably going to end up just fine. And No Tail, man, he is the hook magnet.
Mid lane, Ice Blast is coming in here. Trixie, though. I think he was the tech lay, Central Ward. I gotta say, MYM's looking very impressive with the preparation. They're always there with the detection. Heroes are always rotating. Unicorn is always there, crushing 2 or 3 players. So I'm impressed.
Confidence to dive the tier 1 tower and knowing you're gonna get back up.
I mean, when you're playing heroes like Night Stalker and Pudge, you gotta dive, right? And speaking of dive, we might see one on the mid lane as Ace on his Bat Riders perking over the edge, looking for some kills.
Well, I'm a bit curious because as aggressive as MYM are playing this, they have yet to really get any big objective, They've pretty much just gotten kills.
True.
So they haven't killed a single tier 1 tower. Era, in terms of overall net worth, I believe, is still pretty far ahead of the Slardar. Yeah, he's still like 2,000 net worth ahead. And at 15 minutes in, that's a pretty significant margin. That's an entire Ultimate Orb worth of money. And soon the Weaver is going to have his Lincolns. Then I think MYM are going to start having some more issues because as it stands right now, they only have 1 Blink Initiator, and he can only pop Lincolns or do a crush, Like he can't really catch out Era completely by himself.
Yeah, they're going to try that tier 1 tower.
Excuse me, they have 2 Blinks.
Yeah, they have one on Bat, one on Slaughter, and we might get more, right? Like you said earlier, there's 4 possible blinkers on the Radiant side, and these tier 1 tower gold is going to be very, very key. Exists, lets one fly behind the tower, not going to hit. Critically, even getting these tier 1 tower down opens up the map a lot more for heroes like Bat Rider, Pudge to kind of roam deep into the enemy jungle and find those ganks. So these towers are worth more than just gold. The map position is very key as well.
Yeah, let's see if we start getting some offensive wards out so they can start roaming mad aggressive like.
I would imagine they will. And it looks like Hani did actually opt to go for the Midas, which is, I mean, it's typical Hani. He does that on pretty much every single hero that he plays.
We saw it in the solo mid Sven the other day.
Yeah. And the funny part about that game was, even though they were behind a lot, he still had a ton of farm at the end of the game. But I think he might be in some trouble here. Firefly's going to be popped. Ace is looking for a target. He's going to go straight for Hani. He's going to drag him into Unicorn. Even No Tail gets hooked on the back behind the tower. Here comes the Ice Blast. Manages to land on 2, and here comes the cleanup crew. The rest of Fnatic, they're to try to turn this fight. Mini's ultimate's going to wear off. He wants to try to get Hani, but he's not going to be able to do so. And Trixie ends up picking himself up a kill. Era. He's going to find the DD in the river. Here comes the hook from Exist. Doesn't land. Crit sitting there as well. Very, very dangerous to try to go for this. There is no detection, though, on either of these heroes from MYM.
They still want to dive more and Exist. He's looking for more hooks. It cools down the one that's going to fly and miss. I mean, Exist is throwing these ones out, but they're not really connecting. I'm not sure about that initiation, though. The Bat Rider flew in and grabbed one, and there was follow-up from Unicorn Slaughter, but the Pudge was over on the other side of the trees. There's no way for him to follow up, and I think Pudge is the person that you want to gank with right now because he just represents so much more damage. No Tail trying to run, trying to juke. All right, the creep wave comes, and that should be pretty good for him to get out of there. It's gonna hit. I don't think that was intended target, but hey, it counts. It counts for Exist. He gets another kill.
Kills the kill, man. Unicorn's here now too. He's got his Ogre Club going towards that BKB. He's got Blink Dagger. They want to go ham on this tower.
Uh-oh, here comes the Ace. What?
Oh, he doesn't have lasso. Yeah, it's on cooldown. Okay, here comes the hook. Oh, that was close. That was really close. But yeah, looks like the bottom tier 1 is going to drop in favor of MYM. Denied by Fly.
All right,
very, very nice. Gale's going to land on 2.
Here comes the Night Stalker. Hani coming right in. Mini's going to shield himself and continue to run Unicorn. Needs to start amping and start crushing. The crush barely hits on Hani, and they're going to try to drive him back. Here comes Era on the back line with that Sakuchi. The Ward Trap perhaps on Hani. No, not just yet. Now Ace blinking in. He does have the Flaming Lasso, but dropping low. Blink on crit. 3 Blink Dagger. They find No Tail. No Tail's going to get blown up. Dropping low. He's going to go down to tier 4. MYM has dropped, and it's retreat time for MYM. They have a good path to retreat to because of those Serpent Wards. Where's the Pudge? He's finally coming in on the backside. I heard a Flaming Lasso on the south side of the fight. They're going to go in Era. Can he get at the time lapse off? No, he cannot. Hani diving past the Ward. So here comes the Pudge. Swallow Pudge. Easiest hook of your life. No, not. Thanks. Impale. Hook.
There it is.
What a play. What a play.
Do you think they're punishing the Midas here from the Night Stalker? He's died twice now. And
Yeah, I don't really like the Midas on Night Stalker. I mean, sure, even if he dies a few times, the Midas will help him like recoup the gold that he'd otherwise lost. But if he just had something like an early BKB and he could just tunnel vision a target, I think that would be way more effective than just having a little bit extra gold. Because he's the one who's supposed to really be making space for the team.
4 Blink Daggers.
And it's really hard to make space when you don't have tankiness, you know?
All right, so one side we have two Midases. The other side we have 4 Blink Daggers. I mean,
Blink seem to be winning right now.
yeah, man.
I'm just saying.
We just talked about during the drafting phase, a team with more mobility is going to find much more, and especially in these kind of hectic,
Dire's
scrappy
top
team fights.
tower
With
is
that
under
said, though, No Tail Serpent Wards is going to be doing a ton of work in these fights, just being there, canceling Blink Daggers, just being very, very annoying.
The phase boots came into play there. He ward trapped them. He just walked out of them.
Oh, okay, so it was a Ward Trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, man, Crit must be pretty sad about that. But he's really not that sad. He's got a freaking blink. He's 8-2 on a support Shadow Shaman.
Whoever has crit right now is smiling. Because
Does anyone in our league have crit? I don't think they do.
I don't
think so.
Nobody's giving MYM boys credit, and they should be.
I'm just saying, man. I said that they weren't bad players, and they're definitely showing that they can hold their own.
All right, Meteor Maker exists. Blink, hook. I mean, if you're playing support like, you know, your AA and your Veno, who is absolutely food to these Pudge ganks, I mean, what do you do?
Cross your fingers and pray.
Yeah.
The buddy system's pretty good as well.
I don't know, man.
If you have a blink, though, it's so easy to just pull somebody out of position because you
Yeah.
can blink and hook them away from the person that you're with. And AA and Veno don't necessarily react that fast, you know?
Is it 5-man time here for Fnatic?
I think their 5 is actually kind of weak right now in comparison to MYM's. Especially since Crit is like so overfarmed and overleveled. He almost has level 2 ult at 20 minutes, which is pretty significant.
It looks like Fnatic, regardless, is going to 5-man on the bot and try to take a tier 1 tower. I think M1 has a choice to go down, set up shop here in front of the mid tier 2 tower with the Serpent Wards if that's what they want to do. Looks like Pudge is roaming behind. He's going to, well, Trixie's going to find him. Nope, just going to blink out. Yeah, I think going for the tier 2 is just much a safer option, especially when you have Serpent Ward, and they do just that.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And there's no way. Well, actually, they could actually defend this, yeah. If they TP. It did hit on 2. And just look at how much damage that does. Crit only has 800 health. And that's a level 1 Ice Blast, not even level 2.
They do have an Urn, though, and they do have the Abaddon, so the HP is going to slowly get healed back up. Looks like Fnatic's going to try to surround this from all sides, but there is 4 Blink Dagger again. That's really, really tough to deal with.
From behind. This is so dangerous.
And Ace is got to be careful who is he initiating on. Era is a very easy target, but he does have Lincoln Sphere, so never mind.
Yeah. He has Force, though. I mean, he can still technically get it. It's just going to be hard.
He doesn't have any boots.
You don't need boots when you can Shikuchi, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. But this is one of the stages in the game where it's really hard for Fnatic to make anything happen because Era doesn't necessarily have enough to make his team fight impact that high. He's got 1 core item, and it looks like he might just be going Naked Deso. Or, I mean, he could potentially go BKB, but I don't think that's going to be it. He really needs some kind of damage output so he can start becoming a real threat, or even just split push for that matter, just so he can start being, you know, somewhat useful. But it's not. It's just the hero, you know. You just need so much to be relevant.
Deso's really good against Pudge as well because he's really low base armor.
Yeah. He's butter, as some people would say.
What's your thought on Hani's Axe Scepter? Axe Scepter is generally not a very popular choice on a hero like Night Stalker.
I like it against Bat.
Yeah, in this game, I think against Bat Rider, Pudge, all these kind of high mobility gangers, especially with those blink daggers. The more vision you have is very, very key. So, decent choice here.
And speaking of vision, look at the river right now for Fnatic. They see everything. And they've de-warded. Only thing, or only ward really that MYM has in the area is near the side shop or the secret shop, but they didn't go that way, so it didn't give them any vision pretty much whatsoever. And Arrow's going to be the one to pick it up. I don't know if I like that, to be honest. I would have given it to Hani.
Yeah, Night Stalker is the person who really wanted him.
Dire's top
Crit is going to eat Ice Blast to the face, but he does get the tower on the roster.
Halfway to Aghanim's on Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, once he gets that, suddenly those ults are going to be a lot more problematic, especially when No Tail manages to get 11, which probably won't be for ages because it's 23 minutes in and he's level 8. So clearly not had the easiest time.
Exists, looking for the hook.
Ooh, so close.
And Honey's on the backside.
Oh, it does remove Gale. Huh.
Yeah, I was surprised that it doesn't.
I thought it didn't for some reason. It's probably because BKB doesn't get rid of it, like doesn't get rid of slow. That's weird. Learning Dota 2.
Man, I saw somebody describe Dota 2 as a soul shattering difficult game, and I agree, man.
I do agree with that. Yeah,
Dota 2 is actually a very difficult game in terms of playing it very well and mastering.
And it's unforgiving as crap.
Yeah,
You're unforgiving as crap.
That's true.
No Tail.
The first time I played with you, I was playing Visage, and you're just screaming at me to micro the birds, and I'm like, who's this guy screaming at me? And why do I have to play with him?
Everyone gets trial by fire, Shane. That's how it works. You play, and if you do well, it's fine. If you do bad, the freaking wheels just come off, you know?
Well, speaking of the wheels coming off, I think MYM really needs to do a little bit more. Earlier, Andy was saying that we need a more map objective, so we took down a couple of towers, we took down tier 2, but they need more because on the other side, you have very dangerous items being built up, such as the Acceptor or Ancient Apparition. They have 2 Midases. They definitely will scale into the late game much, much better. So we better see MYM either get a lot more kills or a lot more towers, and so far they're not finding much. Crit, though, does find Trixie in the jungle. Bat Rider is going to follow through. They should have enough chain stuns to bring Trixie down. Unfortunately, they had to use Lasso for that. So it's not exactly the longest cooldown spell in the game, but that's going to reduce their opportunity to find a little bit more stuff. Again, like, they're getting these kills, but what are they doing with the kills? Unicorn's TPing to defend the top tower. So I think Fnatic has this game right where they want it, despite being down for 5 kills.
Yeah, I don't think that Fnatic are really feeling that much pressure at the moment. It's just, okay, let's try to calm down the pace of the game for the next 5-10 minutes, get Era maybe another item. He finishes his Deso, which is huge, so now he's got quite a bit of damage. Really, the game is just don't get picked. As long as it's nighttime and Fnatic has the Night Stalker on their team, Aghanim's on Hani, it's going to be really difficult for them to get in a good position unless they smoke. And even if you do, that thing is pretty much a built-in map hack, and even a gem now on Hani. So looks like his poor little Venomancer teammate has bought him a gem.
Does the gem give you the full vision of the Night Stalker Aghanim's ulti, or is it just like the...
No, it's just the normal gem range, which I think is like 700 or 800 or something like that.
Sounds about right.
I think it's 700 or 800.
Uh-oh, Crit is going to walk right into Hani, but the silence actually goes onto the punch. Surprisingly, Trixie, triple impale. That's going to find them. Looks like they want a little bit more. Exists, getting healed up here by Mini. It's going to buyback coming out here from Crit. Unicorn cannot blink because those wards. It looks like Crit will blink. He finds Noto. Another 2-man stun from Trixie. The Ace is going to find Fly. Still alive right now. Nice hook here by Exist. Deal out a lot of damage. How much will they chase and how much will they get is the question.
I don't really agree with Era chasing here. He's going really, really hard. There's no ult. Here comes the Blink Crush again by Unicorn. They want to go for Era and Impale in the meantime. And Exist, he gets the hook on Hani. They're going to be able to bring him down. The gem is on deck. The Mass Serpent Ward's doing quite a bit of work. Era going to be forced to time loss. He's still alive right now, but they do manage to pick up the gem. Another Blink Crush. Unicorn hits him blind. There's the amp. Or actually, was it blind at all? They popped the Aegis. The gem is now on the Bat Rider.
And they have gem.
Yeah, they have the gem. And my game is completely lagged out, so you're going to have to take over.
Well, not much else to see as Era gets cleaned up. That was a 5-for-2 trade, 5-for-3 trade. Unfortunately, Crit died buyback and died twice, but he did so much in that team fight. But let's not forget, even though Fnatic lost the fight, how many 2-3-man impales did Trixie hit on that Nyx Assassin? I think it was like 3 or 4 2-3-man impales, which is impressive in its own right. Unfortunately, it's MYM that cleaned up. I think the tier 1 tower dropped in the duration of that fight, and perhaps Fnatic took it, but yeah, big win here for the Meet Your Maker boys.
Yeah, they got 2 gems. MYMs now. I don't understand why Arrow was chasing Unicorn that whole time. Like, if he just went to help his team and just hit Pudge or hit, they would have killed everyone because he did so much damage. But he was so focused on trying to kill Unicorn, he just completely forgot about the rest of the fight and just left his team out to dry. No one really does any damage but him at this point.
Well, I guess
Hani does.
Hani does it.
Hani does, but Hani died. So once that happens, it's like.
Also, did you guys
retreat.
see whether if Venomancer dropped a good ultimate in that fight, or whether
He
the
hit like one person.
Okay, how about the AI Blast?
I think that actually hit a few,
Okay.
but I was really following the fight where Arrow was chasing like behind the tier 2, so there was kind of like two fights going on simultaneously, but I really have to say that Era should not have chased that at all. That was like a really bad decision.
Yeah, normally you assume that, you know, when there's a very crazy, chaotic fight like that, the team with the Night Stalker and the Weaver should do a lot better.
Especially with the vision from Aghanims, like you're not missing anything. Like people can't juke you.
Yeah, but it's the 4 Blink Daggers again. Like they just could be wherever they want to be. And now Mech is online on Mini, so I think this is tier 2 tower bot time, I think.
Yeah,
Slider is
could very well
catching
be.
up with Weaver in the net worth as well.
Yeah, he's not really far behind at all, and Weaver has 3 deaths. Unicorn is actually 0-2. I didn't even notice that. He doesn't have a kill to his name, but he's got 9 assists, man. So he's keeping it real.
You do earn points on assist, I think.
Yeah, you do, but not very much. I don't think.
All right, it's gonna be a tier
Dyer's
2 push here for
bottom
Meet Your
tower is
Maker.
under attack.
Ice
Big
Blast is
A.
gonna slow things down. That's cool, but
2 now,
yeah.
and he's actually only 400 away from Aghanims.
I think once Aghanims is gonna turn, like it's gonna surprise MYM how much damage it actually does, and hopefully for MYM's sake, they don't lose fights because of it.
Dyer's bottom tower has
I don't know.
fallen.
I was really skeptical about this Pudge, but Exist has managed to make something
Radiant's
from
middle
nothing.
tower is under
I really
attack.
think, given the start that he had, he should have just been like
Dyer's
a
bottom
total
tower is
non-factor,
under
but he still
attack.
managed to turn it back with
It was
Pudge.
that
Dyer's
fight in top
structures
lane
are
as well when he
fortified.
rotated and
Yeah.
got level 7. All of a sudden everything was rosy. Like
And look at aggression. They're going to go right on high ground. MYM sees blood in the water. And they're going for a ton of these Serpent Wards. Excuse
Some
me, the
ward on
Venom
ward.
Wards.
Tower
They're
is
slowing it
under
down.
attack.
Ice Blast is going to come in. It's going to hit on 2 members. And it's
Oh,
going
just
to warn
one.
it back.
Yeah, all Unicorn got hit, which is fine. But no glyph.
Radiant's top tower
I don't.
has
Yeah,
fallen.
MYM are actually deciding to not push this, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I think they almost had everything. The only thing they didn't have is Mass Serpent Wards.
Yeah, the Master Wards actually got killed by the Venom Wards. I really think that you need to focus down the Venom Wards first. Because they,
That's hard though.
yeah.
they keep coming. Like it's never ending.
I mean, if they come one by one, that's okay because how little they do. But if you let them stack like the way that it was on the bot lane, it's really hard to actually sustain and push.
Well, for me personally, it's actually getting to that point in the game where the supports on MYM are going to have too much to really even deal with because Mini now has a Ghost Scepter. That Shadow Shaman is either going for Aghanims or BKB, either of which will be really nice for him because then he can either channel Shackles or he'll just have that much more substantial pushing capability. And even Era is not going to be able to really do much. I mean, he still needs another item, and he has to go BKB, which is terrible for him. Like, he doesn't want to go BKB in these situations.
Right. As Drasko would say, going for BKB loses you the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game-losing item in the sense that it puts you behind,
Yeah.
respectively, in damage output. And,
One of the best items in the game, though.
huh?
One of the best items in the game, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best items, but it's a game-losing item. As
We'll people figure that one out. Yeah. Although I do want to ask you about this. I'm not sure whether I would agree with the Ghost Scepter on a Baden for Mini. I think it's a great item for something like, let's say, crit. But I think if you're Mini, Force Staff would suit you much better because if you're being gone on by the Night Stalker or whatever, sure, like you have mech, you have your ultimate, you're mostly fine. I think if crit is in trouble, you Force Staff away from the target, or you shield him, or you Force Staff yourself to shield him. So, just a little slight disagreement. I'm not sure whether you agree with my disagreement on Ghost versus Force.
I think that the Ghost lets you be closer at all times in proximity, so you never really have to force yourself into the position in the first place. You're just on the front line the whole time.
Okay.
Because if you have a mech, you should be in the foray anyway, right? Until
Sure.
at least your ulti is popped, which is just the guaranteed get-out-of-jail-free card. So I do think that mobility is always good. I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying that his method of doing what you're saying is just different. Like, he's still going to be in the right spots at the right time, but his item choice just makes it so he's on the front line immediately instead of putting himself in a position.
Okay, fair enough. Ace, Bujish travels up top. He is going to be going most likely for a Shiva's Guard. So these armors are being stacked up. And speaking of defensive items, we have Exist finishing a pipe, and that's going to help against the Ice Blast so much. I think Venomancer at this point is a complete non-factor with his ultimate.
He's also gone for Aghanims as well. Veno.
has?
The Veno's. Oh, the AA has his Aghanims.
Yeah,
And Veno
yeah.
is going.
Well,
for it.
Veno, I don't think he's gonna finish his Aghanims unless.
Believe in him.
Well, unless
Is under attack.
if this game goes long enough.
I would be
Radiant
surprised if
structures
they
are
get that far.
fortified.
Yeah.
Because I think Fnatic are actually pretty far behind right now. Well, the BKB could turn everything around,
Radiant's
though, to
bottom
be honest.
tower is
They don't have a
under
mech,
attack.
do they?
No, no one on the side.
Yeah,
of Fnatic
Fnatic is a team that just like don't give a damn about mech, right? I think
Dyer's
last time we
top
were casting
tower
the
is under
game, we're
attack.
looking around. Where's their mech?
Radiant's
Oh, Era,
bottom
how did you
tower
miss that
has
tower last
fallen.
hit? It was just one catapult, man. Just kill the tower. Oh, hey, ult on
Dyer's
top,
top
but doesn't
tower
really
has
matter. Mass
fallen.
Serpent Wards are used. MYM secure themselves a tower, and Crit gets the kill. So whoever has that guy on their team is just making out like bandits.
10-4-6.
And he's gotten multiple tower kills, I think.
I think
Dyer's
MYM is
top
getting
tower
to
is
a
under
critical
attack.
level of items. You know, AC now finish on the Slardar. We have Shiva's coming soon to Batrider. I mean, MYM may not have the best late game heroes, but they're definitely having the best late game items.
No, I think that their item choice has been pretty much spot on. Here comes the initiation, though. Trixie going to get caught out. The Amplify's there as well. Ace dropping quite fast. Doesn't actually get a lasso in that team fight. Dismember on Honey as well during the BKB. Now they want to chase on Unicorn. He's still quite tanky, though. He has that AC. Do they want to turn this around?
They can.
There's actually a smoke drop. Exists, goes for the hook, just barely misses Hani. Gale comes out from No Tail, also going to be just off the mark, but a 1-for-1 exchange. They take away one of the initiators of MYM, and they end up losing Trixie in the process. So I don't think that was terrible.
It wasn't. And in fact, you lost Batrider during a very crucial moment in time, which is Roshan. So Batrider's probably the best hero MYM's got in terms of scouting Roshan and whatnot. And it looks like they're going to get down very quickly.
Down Hani, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a very, very good turn here for MYM.
Give it
mean
to
for
Era
Fnatic?
again.
Pudge, Blink Hook. Oh, the wards are right there, just canceling those Blink Daggers. So annoying. The Roshan's going to go down. It's back time here for MYM. You don't want to take a fight, especially against the
Gale.
Aegis. Gale does hit. They do have shield, though. Exists, tanking up in the front line here. Blink Crush on Era. Era does have the Aegis, so he doesn't really care. MYM's got it back right now. You don't want to take the fight. Exists, dropping low. He's going to be dead as well. MYM just can't make up their mind. Do they want to fight or retreat? Here comes the Batrider. Teleport.